What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mike coming to you with another awesome episode of Reality Warpers. Alright, so today I want to speak about cleanliness, organization, and what it does with your mind. On one of my last videos speaking about meditation, I spoke about cleaning your area. Alright, so a lot of people might wonder, what does cleaning your area have to do with meditation? All right, so let me elaborate a little bit more on that topic. So everything in the world, everything in the universe, um, everything in the spiritual world, everything is on a certain frequency. Okay, if you don't know what frequencies is, it's basically a wavelength. Okay, so if you hear certain music is on different wavelengths and it sounds differently. It comes out differently from the speaker, whether this music have more bass than this one, etc., etc. Okay, well, everything in life is just like that. Everything is on a certain frequency, whether it's a physical thing, an intangible thing, an emotion. Everything is on a certain wavelength. Okay, to determine what wavelength is on, you have to look at what um what basically does that item or that thing or that feeling present, and everything that it present, similar items or similar things or similar emotions, is on the same wavelength or similar wavelengths to whatever that thing is or whatever that item is or whatever. So like, let's say for example, happiness and money will probably be close to the same wavelength, because in order to get one, you have to have another, in a way, or it's kind of like they complement each other in a way. Okay, so not saying that you have to have money in order to have happiness or anything like that, but by having money, it helps assist in bringing in happiness. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so that's just basically one example of what I mean by everything is on a different wavelength. Okay, so when we speak about cleanliness, that itself is on a wavelength as well. Well, I know a lot of us have heard of the saying, cleanliness is next to godliness. Okay, that basically means anything that is filthy is not going to be on the same wavelength as something godly. Okay, so you're not going to be in the presence of a godly like spirit in a filthy place unless it's coming to bring you out of that filthy place. Okay, also, you're not going to be able to think in a godly like manner. Not saying that you're gonna think like God, because our thoughts are not his thoughts. But when I say think godly, that means in a creative way, in a creative type mindset. Okay, so you're not going to be able to think properly or work properly in an unclean environment. Okay, so when you're cleaning your area, when you are basically trying to clear your area of clutter, that's basically what your mind does itself. It starts to clean its mind of clutter because it's matching the frequency of the environment that it is in. Okay, That is why your environment is so important when it comes to growth. Okay? So, when you're cleaning your area, don't just think about it as, I'm cleaning my area and stuff so I can, be closer to, to God, or Mike told me to do this. So, no, you have to put yourself in a mindset of organization. Organization, sorry. Basically, I'm organizing my area so that I may organize my thoughts. Okay? You get that? Okay, so when you organize your thoughts, that helps put you in a meditative state easier than if you was, in a cluttered area, or you're in a noisy area, or you're in an area that have unclean smells, whatever. It's a little bit more difficult to clear your mind, to think of a certain thing that's on a certain frequency if you're not in an area that's on that same frequency. Now, that's not to say that, being in an unclean area is going to completely restrict you from getting into a certain mindset. It only means that it's going to be that much harder to put yourself in a certain mindset. Okay? The mind can overpower the environment, but it takes a very strong mind to do so. So, because a lot of us don't have the strongest mind, a lot of us, don't have the patience, to deal with certain things in life, whatever. It's best to just, as best as you can, make it easy to get into a meditative state. Okay, and one of the easier ways to do so is being placed into a clean, quiet environment. Okay, cleanliness is next to godliness. By putting yourself in that position, in that type of environment, it makes it easier to connect with you and God, you and your higher power, you and the universe, or whatever is connecting, with you, whatever you refer it to. It all means the same thing, but whatever you refer it to, but just being placed in that type of environment, that's what helps, propel you to put yourself into those godly like mindsets. And like I said, when I say godly like mindsets, we're talking about creating a better environment for you, creating a better situation for yourself, creating a plan to help you get to whatever that next level is, financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever. In order to think of those processes, of those things, that is putting yourself in a godly state, because that is now a place of creation. Okay? All right. So, if you go in and check back, look back at the video that I posted about meditation, maybe that'll clear up a few things when I speak about the cleanliness of your area, when you're trying to put yourself in a meditative state. All right. So now, when I spoke about meditation in that video, the way I spoke about meditation was not the typical way of meditating. I wasn't speaking about you sitting down, crisscrossing, closing your eyes, and meditating, or silent meditation, whatever. I was basically talking about the state of meditation itself. The state of meditation itself is when you are no longer in the control of your mind. It's when you are allowing the subconscious to now control your mind. Okay? By doing that, it's like your body is now in autopilot, or your mind is now in autopilot. So you might zone off, you might blank out, or not like blackout, whatever, but it's like a daze, it's like a dang, I forgot I was wherever I was. That kind of feel. You might feel that when you taking a shower. When you out playing basketball, or you playing a certain video game or something like that, or you just off drawing to yourself or writing to yourself or whatever. You put yourself in a state, not knowingly, that you are putting yourself in that state. Okay, when you are meditating, you cannot like switch it on and switch it off. It's like it does it on its own, and a lot of time it does it unknowingly to you. Okay, so you may be in a meditative state, and you not knowing that that is what state you are in. But for some reason, when you do these certain things, you come up with good ideas. You come up with solutions to different things. You come up with plans for different things. You come up with just different little things that might help you through your everyday endeavors and stuff. But that's because you are putting yourself in a meditative state. All right, so now, because since I spoke about the state of meditation in the last video, I'm going to now talk about the actual way of meditation. Okay, so like I said, you clean your area. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Now that your area is clean, you are now trying to prepare yourself. All right, just like when you go to church and stuff like that, and you have to prepare yourself to be in the presence of God. When you go into church, you don't you play certain music when you're going to church, because you're not going to be in the right mindset. You play a different type of music, which is like gospel music. A lot of people may listen to gospel music, but that type of music have a different wavelength than rap music, hip hop, or whatever normal music that you would usually listen to. So you see how the wavelengths differently change accordingly. But when you listen to a certain wavelength, it puts you in a certain mindset. Okay, all right, so just walk with me a little bit. Okay, so when you're preparing yourself, you want to sometimes, well, sometimes a lot of us might not be in an area that we can really control, like the younger people that's watching, 18 and under or whatever. A lot of us may not be able to actually control the environment we're in, but what you can do is, to the best of your ability, control your room. Let that be your sanctuary. Let that be your space. Let that be your environment that you dwell in mostly. I'm not saying, be, a room body. When you in the house, you just always in the room. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, make that room a area where you can step away from certain energy or a certain environment, and place yourself, and be able to place yourself in a different type of environment. Okay, so if you're living in a place where it's not very clean, it's not very quiet or whatever, to the best of your ability, let your room be your sanctuary. Have it clean and stuff, etc. What I like to do, I like to get a nice soft blanket, because you're going to be sitting for a long time, and if you're not sitting in a comfortable position, a lot of time it distracts you. And it lessens the meditative state. So you're not in it as long as you really want to be, because you're uncomfortable. All right, so what I do is I get a nice soft blanket, make it into a nice square, and that's what I sit on. Okay, that's what I sit on. Some of us, if if you're able to sit up without support of your back, cool, great. But if you need more support on your back as you are sitting, like let's say you are sitting up straight in a chair, if you need more back support, what I do is I like to put the blanket up against a wall. So as I'm sitting in a crisscross style, my back is resting against the wall. All right. So, and all this is only one or two different ways of meditation. That's why I didn't really want to get into it on my last video, because there are different ways of meditating, and I don't want you to try a way that I'm doing and it doesn't work for you. So I'm gonna give you one or two examples, and from that point, do your own research, figure out what other ways are there of meditation. um Even yoga is a way of meditating. It puts your mind and your body in a certain uh wavelength. It puts your mind and your body on a certain wavelength, in a more comfortable, calming, you know type feel, whatever. All right. So it doesn't have to be on the exact wavelength of what you're trying to get, just as long as it's in the area. The longer you dwell along the area, the better chance whatever you are looking for on that certain wavelength comes to you. But if you continue to dwell on lower level wavelengths, if you continue to stay in filthy areas, unclean areas, you are around unclean energies, meaning different people, different things that you might listen to or look at on TV, as far as media, social media, and different things, just continuously clouding your mind with the wrong frequencies, or low level frequencies, jealousy, worrying about what somebody else have, on social media. Oh, they just got their money, or they just got, a new car, or, they whatever, bro. Like, long as you continue to dwell on those lower level frequencies, the longer it's gonna take for you to get to certain things that's on higher level frequencies. Fame, riches, money, prosperity, good health, all of that's not going to be on a lower level wavelength. So you're going to have to do things that's going to put you on higher level wavelength, which puts you closer to things that's on higher level wavelengths. Okay. All right. So back to the style of meditations. You sit in a crisscross position. And if the crisscross position is hard for you, whatever, it's okay if you just sit with your legs, straight. But you are sitting in a posture that you are chest up, head up. All right. So that way the chakras can flow and align as you are taking deep breaths. Okay. You inhale, exhale, in your nose, out your mouth. You inhale the good, exhale the bad. Inhale the good energy, the good prana. Exhale the negative energy, the bad energy that's, already in your body, that you're trying to cleanse and replace with good energy. Okay. Sometimes you can there's certain parts that you can focus on, that's dealing with your life. Like I said, in an earlier video, there are 7 chakras in your body, and each chakra is something that deals with either your body, or it deals with certain parts of your life. Okay. If something is going on in your physical world, your spiritual world, your mental world, your emotional world, anything in between, that means something is not aligned properly, and you must address the situation. You cannot avoid the situation. It won't do anything but continue to get worse, because just like apples in a basket, if one chakra is disturbed or not aligned properly, it's going to start affecting other chakras later on throughout life, the longer you continue to ignore the problem. So a lot of times you might be going through things, you don't know why you are going through certain things. It's because your chakras are not aligned. Your spiritual life is not aligned with your physical life and your mental life. Okay? There's something, there's a detachment somewhere. Okay? Now, depending on what chakra is disturbed or disrupted, sometimes you may focus completely on that chakra or that area of your body while you are meditating. So like, let's say for example, your emotions. Let's say you're a very emotional person and you make bad decisions because you get emotional and your emotions make you make bad decisions. Okay, that is your sacral chakra. Okay, that's right above your root chakra, which is your chakra of survival. Okay, root chakra, that's your survival chakra. Your sacral chakra, which is the next chakra, deals with your emotions. Okay, that is just as important. Every chakra is just as important as the next chakra. So never be like, oh well, I can handle this or I can deal with this and not really have to deal with this. No, everything is just as important as the next thing. Okay, so if one is disturbed, it's very important to focus on getting it corrected. So if one is more out of place than another, okay, then you might can, like, fall off that, like focusing on that one for a little while. And sometimes some of us are born with a stronger level chakra in a certain area. Okay, so sometimes you might not need a lot of work on a certain chakra, and in certain parts in life that you do need a lot of work on. You have to identify what your problem is and what you have to work on. Okay, so like I said, inhale deep through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Okay, and some of us, we, you put your hands up in a meditative position as such. Me personally, I like to rest my hands within themselves like this in my lap, because it makes me more comfortable, because I now meditate, sometime an hour, 2 hours long. So instead of me sitting up with my hands up for that long a period of time, I rest my hands in my lap now, or whatever. So it makes me more comfortable throughout the long run. All right, but and with me, I don't. A lot of people, they hum, like hum hum. Me personally, it kind of distracts me. So I meditate in complete silence. All I listen to is my breath and whatever meditative music that I may have playing at the time. So like I said, there's different ways of meditation, and that's just two, different ways of meditating, or whatever, mixing up a certain way of meditation. So you have to look up, different ways of meditation on your own. Do more research on your own, and when you find what fits you best, you stick with that, because all of us are different. All of us have, different mindsets, a different, spiritual gifts and stuff like that. So because of that, we may need to grow in a different way than someone else. Okay, so the things that work for me may not work for you. All this is advice. That's it. That's anything that anybody, any teacher, any guru, any doctor, anybody on social, on the different platforms that you may look in order to get this type of information, the only thing that they can give you is advice. This way is not, the set way to go. This way is not the set way to go. My way is not the set way to go. I found this way because of the path that I went on in my life. Whatever path you go on in your life, you have to find the different ways to help, guide you back to where you're supposed to be spiritually. Because like I said, we all take different paths. So in order to get back to where we all want to be, or where we should be spiritually, you may have to take a different path than I take. So your path might not be meditation. Your path might be yoga. Your path might be sun gazing, where you sit out at a certain time of the day and you actually, receive energy from the sun, vitamin D. You receive energy from the sun, and that could be your way of meditation. But like I said, there's different ways of meditation, and you have to figure out what way is best for you. But one thing that I can say is the cleanliness of your environment plays a huge part on, where you can get like mentally. So if you want to, like really take it serious, you have to make sure you take every other aspect of your life serious. It all starts from home. It all starts from you. It all starts from home. So start with your environment, your house, your, apartment, your room, whatever. Make sure you start there. Cleanliness is next to godliness. You clean your area, then from that point, you focus on cleaning your mind and organizing your mind, and then from that point, everything else in your life starts to clean and organize itself. Long as you stay on the path, you can't just do it and then all right, now I'm going on about my day and continuously doing whatever else I've been doing, whatever, and I'm gonna just use this 1 or 2 days, whatever, to get my mind right. No, bro, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Do you want it or not? It's a lifestyle. So if you really, really want the lifestyle, you have to clean and change your life, your patterns, your thought processes, rewire your brain, rewire your mind, rewire the way that you process and think about certain things. We rewire the way you express yourself emotionally, because that determines how you make certain decisions and stuff in life. Okay? So, the stuff that I talk about, it might sound simple, like clean your room, stuff like that, but it all leads to a bigger picture. It all leads to the bigger picture. But the thing is, you have to have the foundations. You have to have the little things first. You have to have the little things first. This channel's focused on positive living in every aspect of positive living. So, starting from the bottom, get yourself right, get your mind right, get your spirit right. Then everything else aligns with that. Okay? Don't be the victim. If it happened to you, okay, move on. Move on. Now it's time to get yourself back together mentally and emotionally. Okay? All right. Well, this have been another awesome episode of Reality Warpers. Y'all continue to check out my channel, like, share, and subscribe, and keep checking my channel out, guys.